Hola amigos, me encuentro en el Tim Hortons y esta mañana vamos a darle un repaso al periódico El Norte, que se publica, es una publicación local de Monterrey, Nuevo León, y vamos a mostrar algunas páginas y vamos a traducir al inglés aquí un artículo de un editorialista que se llama Vidal. Bueno, tengo que buscarlo. Por lo pronto voy a mostrarles esta página de cultura dentro del periódico El Norte. La historia me llama a revivirla y dice así: la escritora regia Mónica Castellanos narra en su segunda novela El aroma de los anhelos, una historia de amor situada en la convulsa Revolución Mexicana. Bueno, esta es una parte. Aquí tenemos un artículo muy interesante que escribe el editorialista Jorge Ramos, que se llama La despedida de Gabo. Dice que es un libro hermoso y duro. Rodrigo García, hijo del Nobel literario, relata instantes inéditos de la vida del autor. Bueno, y ahora voy a buscar el artículo de Vidal Garza. Aquí lo tengo. Vidal Garza, y habla de lecciones ciudadanas. El compromiso ciudadano con los comicios se debe a la confianza del INE. Este artículo en particular voy a traducirlo al inglés porque tengo un amigo en la India que habla inglés y que siempre me está preguntando por dos aspectos importantes de la vida diaria de México. Uno, cómo va el problema de la pandemia del COVID, y otra, cómo va, bueno, él no me lo pregunta, pero creo importante decirle que tuvimos elecciones intermedias y qué fue lo que sucedió. Por eso esto lo voy a traducir al inglés, leyéndolo directamente desde el español. Dice: Lessons from the citizens. The analysis that have been made in the elections of June the 6th emphasize its enormous magnitude, political and logistic. They have been named correctly as the biggest elections in the history of Mexico. The total of popular elections post was 20,415. The posts for voting installed were 162,000 plus 129,000 posts, and about 1,464,000 funcionarios de casilla. That's the people who are in the table doing all the voting, receiving the citizens to vote, were about 1,464,000 to serve 94 million of citizens. In Mexico, we have about 127 million Mexicans, and 94 millions of citizens went out to vote. It was everything in due course. because of the responsibility of citizenship showed in this middle election. And we had the opportunity to have an adequate interpretation about the electoral preferences, and also see how is the democratic life in our country. Let's start with the participations of the citizens in the organization of the elections. They received 2 hours of training and 2 hours of taking let's say, simulacros, like they made attempts to do the voting as if it was going on, but it was only training. If we take into account that 9 persons were trained in one of the 163,000 places for voting, so we have 5,900,000 hours of training. If we add that 6 persons working in the places of votes, for every electoral section, they were between 7:30 in the morning until 10:30 at night, attending this responsibility. It gives an approximate of 22 million hours invested in the organization of the votings. And it was a free task. Let's see what else. These 22 million hours invested by the citizens equiparates or equals 3 times the hours per person that it was needed to construct the Aztec Stadium in the city of Mexico. So now we have that 52.77% of the 93.6 million people that went out to vote is the biggest participation in middle or in intermediate elections in more than 20 years. The 99.7% of the posts were installed and no incidents of violence during the electoral day. They were minimum. This compromise from the citizens in the participation of the elections is due to the great trust they have towards the Institute of National, or let's say, Institute Electoral National, or National Electoral Institute. Okay, National Electoral Institute. The campaigns of communications, the betterment and reform and continuous reforms of the electoral systems have had a positive effect in the prestige of this institution, and therefore in the citizen participation in the organization of the elections. This trust is different with the very low approval and trust that the main popular representation organs have, like the political parties and the legislative cameras, federal and local. Counting all this, we can elaborate some conclusions. In the first place, it is important for the citizens to count with independent institutions in the electoral political power, well organized and transparent. In the second place, we have to still understand the legitimacy of the origin of our political system in a better desempeño, in a better I don't remember how to say desempeño in English, of our institutions of political representation. That means that equal to the National Electoral Institute, the political actors must invite the citizens to act proactively in the process of decision-taking and rendering of accounts. Also, it must be recognized and thank the participation of the citizens. Our political system needs more humble governments and citizens much more active. The citizens have great capacities and they are eager to participate in the political life and communitary life of our country in the level municipal, state, and nationally. On their part, the winner candidates have to dialogue, deliberate, and convince to construct political agreements that are able to understand the electoral preferences in inclusive actions. This was learned in the great lessons of the citizens in these elections. Okay, it had been a long time since I didn't do a reading like this, so I hope it's okay for you. I hope you understand and you like it. Okay, I'll see you next time.